Evening all, welcome to Kicking Dust. Right, what we're going to do today is show you some interesting, well, maybe not so much. We're going to show you some shooty bang bang stuff, and we're going to talk about maybe Dust and what's going on at the moment. Now, there was a video shown on Sunday that hopefully many of you saw. This is the first video I've done since then, so yeah, hopefully it didn't kind of cause too much drama, he said, knowing and hoping that it maybe did. It's funny really, because the whole Nova Knife thing is quite surprising to me. I think just because out of all the CPM who do what they do, I always thought Nova Knife was quite good. Kind of seemed a no-nonsense kind of guy. So to hear that he's been removed was obviously a shame, to be honest. But again, who knows what happened? For all we knew, he did something terrible, and so therefore he had to go. Maybe he just lost it, stripped naked and danced on top of the table, screaming and shouting at everyone. Who knows? But it could have been something fun nonetheless. But it's an interesting time for Dust at the moment. With the, obviously, announcement of Legion, I think, frankly, the game is looking... It needs no negativity now at all. To be quite honest with you, it needs no negativity at all. Because I think it's just in that place where, the last thing they want is drama. So I'm going to be a good boy today. Or am I? No, I am. And I'm not going to fuel any drama here. I think if you had to go, you had to go. And that's my position on it. To be honest, I don't really care. I think the whole CPM idea is still a great idea, but it's just the wrong people. I don't know. There's nothing worse than somebody who really does think they are good at what they're doing and they actually are important to the process of making a difference, because they're the worst people to kind of have to break the news to, that actually everybody hates them and nobody really gives a shit what they do. So they could do the best stuff in the world and quite frankly they'll still be flamed. I kind of like to think of it almost as it's almost like, I don't know, the South Park kind of theory in my brain where, to be honest, it doesn't matter how good you are, eventually something's going to come for you. And I think the CPM has been going on for so long now, and I think the last straw for me was hearing that they're just involved with Legion discussions and work. That to me just terrifies me, because I don't rate what the CPM have done at all for Dust. I think actually they've proved themselves pretty divisive, because you look at the CSM, not many people like the CSM either, but they're a lot more respected, if that's the word, than the CPM. The CPM from its first inauguration has been pretty rejected and disregarded. And wrongly so, because these guys really did try and make a difference. So, it's their own kind of hubris, is the word I use regularly, that I think has maybe put them in positions of trouble, because they've not really understood that when you're given this kind of CPM role, you've kind of got to stop being a dick and playing the game for yourself. And I think there's just not enough focus on that. People have just, Kane Spiro is basically the mule. If you've ever watched the Foundation series of books by Isaac Asimov, you'll know exactly what I mean when I call him the mule, because I won't explain it. Maybe in the next video I'd explain it. But to me, he is just a mule. He is the mule from that book. And it's because he's created something, but it won't stand the test of time, and it doesn't change anything. I think this is the reality of what he's done. But because he's had the power and the capability, and I think the drive, what he's ended up doing is kind of, creating a roadmap blip for this game. We don't go into PC. We're the biggest alliance and corporation in this game, for God's sake. And we don't go into it because of just the bullshit bandwagon bollocks that just seems to exist with that whole process of people who really do, there are people out there who, when they introduce themselves, they introduce their KD along with their name. So, hi, I'm Grunt McSpurtington. I have a KD of 42 to 1. And and we just look at those kind of players as incredibly sad. Just phenomenally sad. See, they think they're cool as well. This is the best part about it, is they actually think they are the Mac daddies of this game, and the reality is they're the squeaky little nerds that nobody gives a motherfucking shit about. Excuse my language, I got very ragey then. So to be honest, the whole CPM thing I think is just such a a frustration at the moment that we shouldn't even be having these kind of drama stories about the CPM. It should have been done quietly. They should have said to Nova Knife, as part of the NDA, you're now dismissed and you can't tell anyone you're dismissed. Go away. And I think if they'd have done that, I'd have been a bit more respectful of them. But the fact that they're just like, and the press release that came out was apparently a draft. At least, you know, I think it wasn't. I think it maybe wasn't a draft, and actually then somebody pointed out that you shouldn't use the word incompetent to a customer. So somebody in CCP marketing probably said, ooh, yeah, we probably need to say something that was maybe a draft or something. But to be honest, balls up, absolute balls up all the way through this. And I just wonder, do they have a PR department in CCP? Because it doesn't feel like they do. I honestly don't know why he was removed. I don't care why he was removed. To be honest, it's just yet another drama of the CPM. And I just think, God, now is the time. Hold elections. Let's just get another group of people, and at least we can then say, well, we voted these schmucks in. But at the moment, these guys are unelected. They're just literally, you know, they're just put there. And they're sitting there with this holier-than-thou attitude, thinking that they know the game better than people who play it a lot more than they do. And they're just acting as if they are the guardians of this game. And I think, ooh, very bad move indeed. I just debate if CCP will ever really retreat away from the CPM being a good idea. Personally, I don't think it's a great one. Well, it is, but I would just do it differently. I would make it a focus group of people who have no special identifiers. They are literally just, you know, players that CCP poll. The whole marketing shebang of, wow, we have a council of planetary management. Woo! Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And I think the whole process is flawed, because most of the people, when you say, you know, with this whole CPM thing, you say to them, why do you want to be a CPM? And, you know, they give you a bullshit answer. So you kind of keep chipping away at it and you probe it a little bit. And what you find 99% of the time is that they want to be a known person within this game, a celebrity, somebody that people listen to. And I just think, my God, go sod off. I think that's what you're going to get. CPM 1 is going to be people who want to be known. There might be one or two people in that whole process who actually don't care about the fame element of it, and they want to make a change and make the game better. But to be honest, they're going to be swamped by the dicks who don't. There we go. Nice rage-filled one for you today. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next time.